Hey, the first time I powered on the Q7F, there was this moment where I just paused and realized I hadn't actually seen a scene that felt so alive in years. This is for the person who's watched movies, sports, and shows and thought, okay. But it should feel more immersive. You know the difference between average color and raw depth, and you can tell when audio and visuals aren't living up to what's on screen. Before we go any further, take a second, check the current price and stock. TVs this capable don't sit still. And waiting usually just means regretting the scenes you could have already experienced. You know that frustration when you are watching a big game and the motion looks close to reality, but it still feels flat? Or when cinematic scenes should have impact but the colors don't pop and shadows look muddy. That's the moment you realize your setup is holding you back. You didn't pay for good enough, you want great. You want visuals that match the emotion of every moment, every frame. From the very first second the Q7F lights up, the Quantum HDR leaps off the screen. Colors don't just show up, they breathe. Brights feel bright without washing out, darks hold detail without crushing contrast. And with the Samsung Vision AI processing the image, every scene feels optimized in real time, no guessing, no sluggish tuning, just crisp, sharp visuals that you actually feel. Once you see that level of clarity and dynamic range, anything flat or dull feels like a step backward you don't want to revisit. Picture this, it's game night, and the on-screen action feels bigger than your room. Every jersey detail, every blade of grass, every cheer in the crowd feels like it's part of your space, not just on screen. Imagine watching a movie where rain feels real, horizons feel deep, and every frame has weight and texture. Even everyday streaming feels richer because the Q4 AI Gen1 processor doesn't just upscale, it interprets what's on screen and makes it feel more intentional, more detailed. And listen, if you're hesitating because you think maybe I'll wait for a sale or maybe I'll go with something cheaper, notice this, every time you consider lesser gear, you come back to what actually delivers presence. That's loss aversion, you know what lackluster visuals feel like, and you don't want to go back there after experiencing clarity that pulls you in. One surprise benefit most people don't expect until they live with it? Object Tracking Sound Lite. It's not just speakers playing dialogue and effects. The sound actually follows the action on the screen. When a car zooms across from left to right, the audio moves with it. That's not just immersive, that's the kind of detail that makes you forget you're watching from a couch. You see depth in every scene, you notice colors you miss before, you enjoy motion that feels smooth, you hear sound that matches action, you take pride in how it performs. It's not overwhelming to navigate, it's not limited to one type of content at some point, endless spec comparisons just slow you down. You've lived with average TVs long enough to know the difference between just watching and experiencing. You know what it feels like when visuals and sound finally align with how vivid you imagine them. And once you've felt that, once your room becomes part of the story instead of just a window to it, delaying it only feels like postponing scenes you already know you'll love. So if you're ready to stop settling for flat and step into visuals that actually live up to your content, check that price, check the availability, and go for it. The Q7F doesn't just show picture, it brings it to life.